Hello, my name is Michael. This is my wonderful partner Nell. And we're here to tell you about the Joe Hill Roadshow, an educational presentation using storytelling, songs, and historical images. We'll be talking about early 20th century labor history, and in particular, a group called the Industrial Workers of the World, the IWW, or the Wobblies as they were known. We'll also be talking about Joe Hill, their most famous songwriter.
So, who was Joe Hill? Well, he was a manual laborer with a flair for writing lyrics and music, and he wrote many wobbly songs. He was a Swedish immigrant who migrated to this country in 1902. Now, Joe Hill was executed in 1915. And as you can see from that banner, there were a bunch of shows celebrating his life held on the centenary of his death.
The Wobblies wanted to see radical change in the capitalist system through what they called industrial unionism. They wanted to organize all the workers of the world into one big union. And Joe Hill wrote a song about it. He called it What We Want. We want the sailor and the tailor and the lumberjacks and all the cooks and the laundry girls. We want the guy that dives for pearls, the pretty maid that's making curls, and the baker and the staker and the chimney sweep. We want the man that's slinging hash, the kid that works for a little cash and one union grant. Come all ye toilers who work for wages, come from every land, join the fighting band. In one union grand, and for the workers we'll make upon this earth a paradise, when slaves get wise and organized. When slaves get wise and organized. In 1915, during the era of the infamous robber barons, federal study was conducted which found that 1/3 to 1/2 of the population of this country was living at near starvation level. And that reminds me of a song that Joe Hill wrote called It's a Long Way to the Soup Line. And we'll give you a verse and a chorus of that. We're going to do that through this presentation, just give you a little snippets of these songs. We play 9 songs in the course of the entire program. Bill Brown was just a working man like others of his kind. He lost his job and tramped the streets when work was hard to find. The landlord put him on the stem, the bankers kept his dough, and Bill heard everybody sing no matter where he'd go. It's a long way down to the soup line, it's a long way to go. It's a long way down to the soup line, and the soup is thin, I know. It's goodbye to good old pork chops, farewell to beefsteak rare. Oh, it's a long, long way down to the soup line, but my soup is there. Yes, it's a long, long way down to the soup line, but my soup is there. Yes, it's a long, long way down to the soup line, but my soup is there. Yeah.
So, the Salvation Army and the Wobblies were often both on Skid Row trying to recruit members to their organizations. Now, the Salvation Army would use its brass band to drown out the Wobbly soapboxers. So, Joe Hill wrote a song called The Preacher and the Slave, and he wrote it to an old Salvation Army hymn. And it is one of his most famous songs.
Yeah, this song was Joe Hill's answer to the Salvation Army, his challenge to them. Here we go. what's wrong and what's right. But when asked about something to eat, they will answer with voices so sweet. You will eat by and by in that glorious land above the sky. Work and pray, live on hay. You'll get high in the sky when you die. That's a lie. Yeah. So Joe Hill was an exceptionally visible and effective organizer. He was considered an enemy by the business elites and the power structure that kept them in place. He was put on trial on a trumped-up murder charge in January of 1914, and he was convicted. Joe Hill was 36 years old when he was executed by a firing squad by the state of Utah in Salt Lake City on November 19th, 1915. And he became a labor martyr and an icon.
So 30,000 people attended Joe Hill's funeral on November the 25th, 1915. It was one of the largest funerals ever held in Chicago. Now we have something that's an eerie reminder of what's going on today. The 1918 pandemic, called the Spanish flu, infected 500 million people worldwide with an estimated death toll of from 17 to 50 million, one of the deadliest pandemics in history. It was spread by soldiers returning from World War I. And up on the screen is what looks like a makeshift hospital in Fort Riley, Kansas, of soldiers. And here is an interesting image. This is a masked family in 1918.
So we would like to close out this introduction to the Joe Hill Roadshow with a piece of the song I Dreamed I Saw Joe Hill. Now, just before Joe Hill died, he famously said, "Don't mourn, organize." I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Said I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, said he. I never died, said he. The copper bosses killed you, Joe. They shot you, Joe, said I. Takes more than guns to kill a man, said Joe, I didn't die, said Joe, I didn't die. And standing there as big as life and smiling with his eyes, said Joe, what they can never kill went on to organize, went on to organize. I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Said I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, said he. I never died, said he.
And we want to thank Humanities Tennessee for its generous contribution to this project. We would love to come to your organization, your church, your community group or whatever, and do a free, full-length Joe Hill show for you. So please get in touch with us if you would like to have that happen. You can reach us at our website, www.shelbysong.com, and get in touch with us, and we would we will arrange to come and play the whole show for you, followed by an audience discussion. We want to do it on Zoom so we can hear your feedback. Thanks.
Good night and good luck.